A man insisted to the officer that it would be better for the young woman to be taken away so she could learn not to take what did not belong to her. The young woman, a student, protested that she was not a thief. The officer apologized, but she pleaded for understanding. Another man approached and asked how much she supposedly owed. The shopkeeper replied that it was $5. Without hesitation, the man paid the amount and told them the matter should be settled. The shopkeeper thanked him, though the officer stated that the act had already been committed. The man urged the officer not to escalate the situation, explaining that it was all a misunderstanding. After a moment, the officer agreed and released her. She thanked the man, and he reassured her before leaving. Later, the same man went to a pharmacy and asked the pharmacist to sell him medicine for a headache. When it was ready, he asked for the cost. The pharmacist told him it was $10, and he paid before thanking them and leaving. That afternoon, the pharmacist was approached by a young woman selling homemade cookies to fund her university studies. She had entered through an open door, but the staff reprimanded her, insisting she ask for permission. She apologized and attempted to leave so she wouldn't cause trouble. The pharmacist recognized her as the girl from the pharmacy earlier that day and asked why she was there. She explained that she was trying to sell her cookies but had been turned away. When she tried to leave again, he stopped her and said he wanted to help. He believed that people who studied and worked hard deserved support. He walked her into the office area and introduced her to the workers, encouraging them to buy cookies to support her education. However, Paul, a demanding staff member, objected and claimed she was distracting the employees. The pharmacist disagreed, saying it would only take seconds, and reminded Paul that he was currently the one giving orders. Paul walked away angrily. The employees began buying cookies. When she finished selling, she gifted the pharmacist a few as thanks for paying for her medicine earlier. He told her she didn't have to, but she insisted, saying no one helped strangers anymore, and that his kindness meant a lot. The pharmacist then noticed she looked unwell. She dismissed it as a simple headache, but he observed that her pupils were dilated. He asked how long the pain had persisted. She admitted it had been several days and assumed it was stress. He urged her to see a specialist and handed her a card, explaining that the doctor on it was excellent. She thanked him. Before she could leave, Paul returned, threatening to inform the boss about the pharmacist allowing vendors in the office. The pharmacist told him to do whatever he wanted. Not wanting to create conflict, the young woman left. Paul and the pharmacist exchanged tense words before parting. Days later, the young woman unexpectedly visited the pharmacist. She said she had been worried about him, especially after seeing how severe his headache seemed. She had already scheduled a medical appointment for herself, and she shared that she had received a scholarship to study abroad. She came to say goodbye and said that if she had been detained the day of the misunderstanding, she would have missed her exam and never earned the scholarship. He congratulated her. She admitted she felt sad, as she wouldn't be able to invite him to her graduation. He reassured her that there would be time for that once she returned. Before leaving, she made him promise to seek medical attention. Not long after, the pharmacist was summoned to his boss's office. To his surprise, Paul was waiting for him and announced that management had decided to fire him, claiming he had become a distraction and had made too many mistakes. Paul added that the cameras had recorded him bringing an informal vendor into the office. The pharmacist argued that his years of dedicated service should count for something, but Paul dismissed him and said his severance pay would be transferred. As the pharmacist left, Paul mockingly told him that time always revealed people's places. The pharmacist replied that he didn't believe in luck, but Paul would need it. Soon afterward, the pharmacist experienced a severe episode and went to the hospital. The doctor informed him that his scans showed a brain aneurysm in a highly delicate area and that he needed immediate surgery. The operation would cost between $35,000 and $40,000, an amount he could not afford, especially after losing his job. The doctor apologized and explained that even the public system's wait list would not be fast enough. The man left devastated, wishing life could give him another chance. As luck would have it, another doctor reviewed his case and recognized the patient's name. It was Alejandra, the young woman he had once helped. Shocked, she realized the man she had been thinking about was gravely ill. She approached him, and he apologized for disappearing after losing his job. She told him not to speak that way and promised she would not let him die. She called for the surgical team immediately. The surgery was successful. When he awoke, he asked who had paid for everything. Alejandra explained that she herself had operated on him and had done so free of charge. She reminded him of his words, that people who worked and studied deserved support, and said that life had allowed her the chance to repay the kindness he showed her. She urged him to rest and recover. As he healed, he confessed he had been thinking about all he had lost. She assured him he had lost nothing. He was alive, and that mattered more than anything. When he questioned why she would help a dying man, she admitted she had thought about him from the first day they met. He confessed that he had never stopped thinking about her either. Meanwhile, Paul received his own reckoning. He was called into the office and handed a dismissal notice and severance pay. The boss had reviewed everything and found Paul had falsified claims and overstepped his authority. Justice, the pharmacist had once said, always arrived sooner or later, and this time it had arrived for Paul. Later, Alejandra and the pharmacist stood together as she sold cookies again. When someone approached to buy, he joked that if she had made them, he wanted 1,000. She reminded him that life was fair in the end, and they both thanked fate for bringing them together. Thank you for watching. Turn on notification and also subscribe for more.